Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm your host Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreyer, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight we're reviewing Caveat, which is streaming now on SHUDDER. This is going to be fun. All right, let me introduce the crew, starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, sir, how you doing?
I'm trying to think of a line, but I can't. I'm doing good.
Keeping us all in suspense. Oh, no.
This has been one of those hurry up and wait days. So
yeah, I'm sorry.
You should have had a little drum on, and you could just gone tit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Now, but nobody knows what we're talking about. All right. Also joining us this week, it's Crystal Cleveland. The Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm wonderful. Yeah.
Cheerio!
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, they're Irish, right? They're Irish. Do they say cheerio?
No, they do not.
No, that's
I do not know my dialect. All right, rounding out the crew is the one and only Dave Dreher. How you doing,
Hello,
sir?
everybody. How are we? Everyone good? Crystal, your pictures are almost even this week. Behind you.
It's the
They're almost
camera.
level.
See, it's the camera. I've been working with it. It's because they are level. It's just, it's a trick of the eye.
My OCD. You're not provoking my OCD too much tonight. So thank you.
That's good.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Caveat.
That's better, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they're better.
Which is streaming now on SHUDDER. What we're going to do is we're going to give our first impression. That will be spoiler-free, and then we're going to dive into discussion, which we will get into spoilers, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But let's see. What is this movie we're talking about? What is this Caveat thing? All right. Well, it's a 2021.
There's the bunny.
What happened?
The bunny. He's there. I see him. He's peeking.
Oh,
at
yes. He's in the bottom. You totally threw me off. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. It's beginning on SHUDDER, June 3rd, 2021. Written and directed by Damian McCarthy. The cast includes Ben Caplan, Connor Duane, Jonathan French, and Leila Sykes. And that's about it. I think there's one other face or two in there. Synopsis: a lone drifter suffering from partial memory loss accepts the job to look after a psychologically troubled woman in an abandoned house on an isolated island. If that doesn't spell trouble, I don't know what does. But he certainly went for it. All right, so let's dive into this one. This is going to be fun. Dave, you are up first, sir.
Wow, I can go first.
Yeah, what was your first impression of Caveat?
Well, I had no idea what this was. That happens to me a lot, I know, but I really didn't know what this was. And it really started off like one of those Jeff Mohr films, kind of, had that kind of witch kind of thing going on, old timey. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again. But we get that bunny, and like right away the bunny kind of intrigued me because he's kind of scary looking, but not really, but kinda.
It's the eyes.
Yeah,
the eyes. They're like human eyes.
Yeah, kind of creepy, and I was trying to figure out, is the bunny warning her, or is she warning the bunny? What the hell's going on? So it kind of reeled me in, and then when they make the guy put the best thing on, I'm like, all right, I got to see what the fuck this is all about. So yeah, it ended up holding my attention. I'm not 100% sure what I think of this yet. It may require a second viewing to fully understand it. I'm not sure.
You're sounding pretty Jeff-like, Dave.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that's just it's just weird enough to make me want to watch it again because I feel like I missed things. But anyway, first impression was it intrigued me, and therefore I watched it all the way through, and I kind of liked it.
Yep. So he's heading over to the
I've
dark
watched
side.
it all the way through.
Which is an accomplishment for Dave sometimes. All right, Crystal Cleveland, what was your first impression of Caveat?
Okay, so I didn't know what we were going to watch either. And here's the thing. I found this movie, I felt kind of the same way at first. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's got a lot of creepy elements. There were some parts that worked that I'm surprised they worked, like the painting. That would not normally work for me, but there was something weird about the painting and the way it was done. And I was like, that actually worked. I don't know why it worked, but it worked. So, I mean, that stuff I would normally be like, oh, whatever. That's so silly. The freaking rabbit, no. It messed me up a bit. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't like it. I would kick it. I would just kick it right now. Kick it. Why are you just letting it? Why are you just watching it? What are you doing? So because of that, I liked the movie and I enjoyed it. And actually, I liked the core story, the concept of it. But there's something about it that was also kind of boring. There were moments that I wish that I could explain it a little bit better because I didn't feel bored, but I felt meh about it. So I think that's what everyone's kind of having a hard time with. I'm having a hard time with those meh moments. But I enjoyed the creepy moments enough to make me say that I liked it. And I think it's an interesting watch, and I think it's interesting to watch something that has such simple little moments be so creepy. I don't know how he did it. And a lot of those moments were actually pretty bright. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I like creepy. Creepy's good. We don't have a lot of creepy.
Creepy's good. Creepy's good. All right, Jeff, sir. This smells like a Jeff Mohr film. Jeff, what was your first impression of Caveat?
Is that a Nirvana song? It's very slow moving. It's extremely atmospheric. I kind of like how I think what Dave was getting at about having to watch it again is there's backstory that we don't know about that's released, and the main character doesn't remember. That's released very slowly, and so I went back and watched it again because another commitment got changed, so I had time to watch it again. So I watched it again, and I liked knowing what was coming, or I like watching, knowing what the end is, how this stuff was played out, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The rabbit is creepy as hell. The house, you couldn't get much skeezier, I mean, just
true.
Stained, grimy, torn, everything, wallpaper, everything. And then, I mean, there was a little bit of you have to. What's the word I want? Suspension of disbelief, or you have to go along with something, which is that vest.
Yeah, well, guy fights it kind of at first. He's like, he got to put it on, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, okay, and he puts it on.
It happens pretty fast. So I don't think it's much of a spoiler. As soon as he pulls out the lock, I'm out the door. I'm sorry.
Gone.
I'll put your stupid vest on, but wait a minute. Now you're going to lock me in it. Okay. But it did add a lot of interesting things to the story. I liked there's a lot of creepy stuff in this. I mean, Crystal brought up the picture, the rabbit, there's stuff in the basement. There's stuff on the way to the basement. It's just creepy, and you don't really have a good feel at all for what it's about, starting off. You almost have to get to where you're getting some of that backstory before you start to get what's going on. So anyway, I enjoyed it. The acting, I thought the lead guy and the girl were really good.
Okay, all right. I wish I felt this way about this film. There are moments I like because there are some really well crafted, not necessarily scares, but eerie moments, creepy moments. I think creepy is the word that you use, and there are creepy moments, and we'll get to those in a spoiler section. But I think the word you were looking for, Crystal, is dull. This movie is just dull, and I was interested enough to watch it, but I was never really invested in the characters. I didn't really like them. I I don't necessarily know if I agree with you, Jeff, on that last comment. Not that they were bad. It's just like, what?
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't have any problem with acting.
I don't know if I having a problem with it isn't what I'm trying to say. It's just to me it didn't they didn't captivate me. And I'm another thing I found a little troubling is I don't know if there's really a arc. I mean, I think there is, but I don't know. You know, you guys might have to explain to me during the discussion what the arc is, but I don't know. To me, I found this a little bit of a bore, and I don't know if I like it. I'm trying to decide because I don't. At the same time, I don't hate it, but it dull is where I'm going with.
Well, I do think it's a little bit of a thinker. Like clearly, it's Alice in Wonderland, and then going down the rabbit hole with her, and that's kind of the story he's taking.
Okay.
I mean, that's the painting with the girl and the rabbit. I mean, that's kind of obvious to me. That's what I see when I look at this. So I feel like it's okay.
It went over my head. I didn't get that at all.
But she knew the whole time who he was, and she was kind of guiding him. You know, I kind of felt like she was more like the rabbit rather than the girl. But
I think he was the girl. If anybody was the girl, he was Alice.
Yeah.
If
So I mean, I also I feel like the story was interesting enough. I don't feel like he had an arc because he was technically never a bad person. Because if you watch it, I don't want to give anything away, but he didn't do what he was told. He went there to stop things from happening, actually. When he did that, it just turns out that things were already done. So
he was the patsy. He really was. He was the patsy. He was going to get the blame for it.
I don't know that anyone was really going to get the blame for it. I think that it was just going to be what it was. It just happened to turn out that it was done. I think the brother really did. That's the whole reason why he clearly. Oh God, I don't want to say too much.
You don't want to give it away.
I will agree that some of the best moments are the beginning, with the girl and the rabbit walking around the house, and you don't really know what's going on. And the house is a great location. It is a wreck. It's moldy.
It's gross.
It's got
the pupper.
The worst. The pupper. It's got the worst wallpaper ever. That red wallpaper going down the hallway is like, oh my God.
Yeah, it looked like blood splatter.
It did. I don't know. The more he was in that room, the more I was like, oh God, die. Just die. Get this movie over with. I'm done.
Doc he had too many other things on his mind he was wishing he was doing.
Maybe like.
Okay. And so y'all mentioned the vest. I don't think. Well, obviously, the vest is the whole reason why the movie is named Caveat, because that is the caveat that he has to wear this vest in order to get his money to be there. So, okay. I feel like it is not that weird because he made the decision. See, I guess I can't believe I'm sitting here. I'm going to defend this movie because as far as the story goes, it all makes sense. It all fucking flows. It all flows. But he saw the girl and then was like, he wanted to help her. He wanted to help her. He's like, okay. Because he's like, either I leave her here alone, And so then he's like, okay, I'll do it. Because at his core, that guy is not a jerk. He's actually a good guy. He's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not.
I just don't know if I care.
Well, that's another matter. I see, and maybe that's part of it with me too. I see the story, but I'm also like, at points, I was like, I see that too. I see both sides. I liked the creepy moments. I liked the story. It is a little dull, though.
I mean, there are some striking visuals. When they do get to the basement, and it starts off with her, carving this hole into, the wall and in the basement, and it cuts to the start. The movie starting. So we don't find out what's in the hole at the beginning, but later we do. And when we do, that visual is just alone, just what they achieved with what's in there is very disturbing. And the more they played with it and put things on it, and the creepier it got. I'm not sure.
And see, that shouldn't work for me too, because that's normally, I did kind of laugh the first time, but I was like, yeah, it's creepy though. There's something about it that's creepy.
Yeah.
This guy's good at creepy.
Something. Yeah, but I missed something. Why was there a hole? And this, I need to watch this happen. Why was there a hole through the wall to where the phone was?
It was
he popped out. He popped out the vent. Yeah, he popped out the vent.
Why it was there. Yeah, I just like all of a sudden there's this, and they resort to it a couple different times. One time,
the first time you see him pop it out.
Oh yeah, see, I must have.
But it's pretty quick. It just pops out, and then he
tries to get the key the second time.
Right.
Yeah, and then she grabs his finger. Oh, that hurt.
I know. Ouch.
All right, well, Jeff, you got to speak up, man.
Come on, Jeff. I know you have to have more to say.
Give us some details about this movie.
I mean, number one, so we all know I like atmospheric movies, and this was very atmospheric. Number two, I felt like there was just enough information given out that made me wonder what was going on. Like the guys asking him, the things that Barrett, his so-called friend, is asking him to do don't really make much sense, but you kind of, we don't know that much about him. So we get the idea that he's kind of down and out, needs some money. And it's, doesn't sound illegal or anything. So, okay, if I could make $200 a day, and then the farther they go, the sketchier it gets. And then he finally, the hurdle for me was, okay, he went along with it, and maybe there was some subconscious there going on there. But then we start to, like she accuses him of something, and he says, I didn't do that. I don't remember that. I didn't do that, And then at some point, you start getting some of this backstory, and I don't know. I liked it. Me
too. I like the story a lot too. Mm-hmm.
And the other lead male. Well, I won't say anything. But
okay, what's brilliant about that is how different he looks. I would have never known.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Okay, that part I didn't get until the jacket thing, and I'm like, holy moly!
Yeah,
I never would have known.
On the photo, I didn't get. I didn't get what was going on.
You can't tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but the jacket, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. When I was like, holy moly! And that's why he was so drawn to that photo, too. Like, it's so interesting. I think it was really interesting.
There was a lot of weird things in here. Like he had a photo in his pocket. She had a photo in his pocket, in her pocket. And they both pull out these, curved photos that are curved from being in their pockets and look at them. And then the other thing is the circles, right? Dave brought up the circle, where he pulls the vent out. Right. And there's the circle she cuts in the drywall downstairs. And then at his regular apartment,
there's a circle for
there's a circle, with glass for the door. And I don't really know what it all means, but it was certainly intentional.
Well, that's what the mom did too. When the mom was there drawing on that chalk paper, she was just doing circles over and over and over again.
Well, that makes me think, without going too far, but I actually think this is, I don't know. Yeah, we'll wait are we doing spoilers, you said?
Yeah.
I actually think this is a ghost story. But.
Well, it definitely is.
Well, because, but who's the ghost? I mean, we know one ghost. We don't have to say that one, but what about the rest?
So you're saying that when he pushed him off of the railing or whatever, when he did all that maybe he didn't survive?
Oh no, I think he survived. I meant the mother.
Okay.
Oh, well, she's
that
definitely a ghost.
A lot
We
of
saw
weird
her.
stuff that's happening in the house makes no sense unless there's some force doing it or he's hallucinating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because that damn rabbit that has that little.
But I feel like the rabbit was warning him
Right.
Oh yeah,
in that
definitely.
spot. Yeah,
Definitely.
like it's kind of
Well,
weird.
technically, couldn't there be another one in there too?
There could be the father. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we never saw him, so that's conjecture.
Well, we did.
We did, but he was. I guess he wasn't quite dead yet, was he? Or
no,
I
I'm
don't
not really
know.
sure.
It was some nice effects though.
Yeah, I mean,
there was a couple times I had to go back and pause it because I wanted to see what it was I just flashed through the flashlight.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them were very quick.
That was a lot of it. That was one.
Oh yeah, they should have an epilepsy warning on this probably.
Because
Because there were some moments I was like, "Ooh, this could bother someone." Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do, if you're still watching our review, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We hope you're enjoying this review and many others we have on the channel. Be sure to stick around for our final thoughts and all of that. If you want to help us out, the subscribe button or share with a friend is the easiest way to do it, and it certainly helps. We're getting closer and closer to our goal. Thank you. And if you want to leave some comments, we'd love to hear them, because I'm sure there's some subtext in this that didn't make it across the pond.
We overlook it. We overlook it. Yep.
So we have some friends that probably could fill in the blanks, I am certain. All right. Speaking of those friends, many of them are on Patreon. And we want to thank our patrons for helping us out. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do not only the Gruesome Magazine podcast, but Heroes and Droids, Decades of Horror, and Horror News Radio. Check those out too. All right, Dave, are you ready, sir? Your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene.
I think we're all kind of in agreement on this one. It's a kind of a quirky, weird little movie, but it's very intriguing. You kind of have to keep watching because you just don't really know what the hell's going on, and you kind of want to. So, I can't say I disliked it. I can't really say I loved it, but it certainly held my attention. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Okay.
I thought the acting was fine. I was okay with all that. The direction was pretty good. It had some truly creepy moments. And speaking of that, this is a very simple scene, and this was, I'm going to use it as my favorite scene, but it's when the lumberjack guy finds the bunny, and he's going to make a fire in the fireplace, and the bunny just starts kind of rat-a-tatting, and he's like looking at it.
Guy.
yeah, he's just kind of looking at it, and it kind of rat-a-tat-tats again.
That would totally be my favorite.
Yeah,
it's so
and
good.
then we
so
slowly
creepy.
see that back door open, and we we don't know what the hell's going on. It was just creepy and tension filled. I mean, it actually kind of made me sit up in my chair. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it doesn't really pay off ultimately, unfortunately, but just the build up, it was kind of a build up to nothing, but it was still a really good build up. I mean, this is on Shudder. We all have Shudder, so watch it, give it a try. Go in with a little bit of an open mind. It's a little bit of a thinker.
Yes, it is. All right, Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
So, I feel the same as Dave. I liked it more. But I mean, obviously, like, I think that's obvious in the way I've been talking about it. And I guess in defending it, I feel even a little stronger. I'm going to give it a 3.25.
Oh, nice.
I think that one of my favorite scenes is what Dave just talked about. I think if I watched it again, I'd like it even more. It is, there is something dull that needs some shine to it, but I don't get creeped out often. So when I do, I value that. And
Very good.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go with the painting changing. Not even just falling, but when you see it again, I was like, oh, hell no. I had to rewind it just because, they actually put a B-roll shot in between, of the lake or something, and I was like, I want to know, I want to remember what that looked like before. Yeah, I was like, I didn't like the look on that painting's face. So it was
something
good.
up with it.
I want that painting, actually. I love it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, there was a couple other ones around the house too that.
Oh yeah, and oh my God, it's so funny because after that he starts going and looking at them. It's all messed up. I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Jeff, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, favorite scene.
For me, this is worth a watch. I mean, it's on Shudder. You got to Shudder. It's to me, it's atmospheric. It's slow moving because I mean almost the whole thing takes place in this messed up house. You kind of get it figured out by the end what the layout of the house is. But I think I noticed this is the director's, Damian McCarthy's first feature. And
Okay.
And the actors are fairly fresh too. I think the guy that played Barrett, Ben Caplan, he's got like 30 some credits, but Jonathan French, and then Leila Sykes, that's Olga, both have like 8 credits. So they, especially Jonathan French, is carrying a lot of this, and I kind of like this, and he's able to give 2 pretty completely different looks, not just because of the beard, right? But
He just seemed
because
different.
of the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So anyway, I'm giving this a 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm back on top.
Just barely, though. Just barely.
And I'm going to say favorite scene. There's a lot of creepy scenes. I could pick anything with the rabbit or any other ones, but I'm going to take when he's crawling down the tunnel and sees something over the pipe. I'm not going to tell you what it was because I don't want to spoil anything, but that was one I had to pause to see what it was because it was so fast. And when I saw what it was, it creeped me out even more.
But just even him crawling in the pipe made me feel claustrophobic. I was like, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, that's one of my least favorite scenes. That particular scene from the time it goes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know why, but I was just like, oh. Anyway, so not to bury the lead, I did okay. I sound like a naysayer here. I enjoyed watching the film. It didn't connect with me. I like I said, there was something about it that's a little dull for me. I wasn't, and I think it's just me not being invested in the characters. I never got invested in our lead. I don't think he did a bad job. I just never got into what was going on, and it's just, because he's a little bit of an unreliable narrator in a way because of his scenario, but that didn't really sit with me. So I didn't. The movie didn't work. Now, I do want to say that there are moments in this I really like. I think the director's got some really talent, and I didn't realize it was his first feature, but he captures this sense of dread and foreboding, and just something is screwed up in this house, and he captures that quite a lot throughout the film. And then other times it's, why are we playing with this dog? I don't get it. Anyway,
because he's cute.
Well, no, I mean, actually, it's a parallel because he's like the dog. But anyway, it's but the ironic thing is I'm giving it the same score as Dave. I'm giving it a 2.75 because it's better than average. But I hate
yeah.
saying that.
Oh yeah.
But it's I think a lot more people are going to like it than me. I really think so because a lot of people actually are positive about this on there, but it just wasn't for me. My favorite scene though is going to be when a little bit after Jeff's scene, and he's already crawled down the steps, and he needs to he's got this beanie hat, and he wants to put it over something, and the more that thing was over that something, the better that scene got. Come on, there was a scene with the eye that I absolutely lost it. It was the whole idea, and the fact that he just kept it together. Like, how in the hell did you do that? Holy crap! I'd be pooping my pants. But anyway, yeah, I'll go with that scene. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, my favorite scenes were with that.
You could also go with his voice, Isaac's voice coming over the intercom, and the song. Going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'll send someone for you.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I was like,
Anyway.
all right, well, there you go. There's our review for Caveat. It's streaming now on Shudder. Check it out and let us know what you think of it down in the comments down below. Dave, Crystal, Jeff, as always, thank you for joining me. This was so much fun. Oh, man. More Shudder movies to come.
Yay.
Yep.
Shudder. Shudder.
It's what, the summer of
Summer of Screams? No.
Summer of Chills or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All, they got a huge lineup, and we'll be covering all the ones that we haven't already covered, because we covered a few of them already, but we've got some good things lined up. All right, well, let's say good night.
That's it. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.